He used to wake before the alarm and make coffee the way I liked it, strong, quiet, dependable. People called him lucky to have me. I believed that too. I believed I was the bright thing in the room and he was the furniture. Useful, steady, easily overlooked. He never corrected anyone. He just smiled and held doors. The night I humiliated him, it felt harmless. A charity dinner. White tablecloths. A microphone passed too casually into my hand. Someone joked about marriage being a compromise and I laughed too loudly, said something sharp about how compromise was what you accepted when you married someone safe. I meant it as wit. The room laughed. I saw his smile freeze the way glass does before it cracks. He clapped anyway. He always clapped. In the car he didn't argue. He didn't ask for an apology. He said, "You embarrass me." I rolled my eyes and said the worst thing a person can say when they think they're right. "You're too sensitive." He nodded, eyes on the road. That should have scared me. Silence was never his weakness. It was his workshop. The change didn't come as anger. Came as absence. He stopped correcting my calendar mistakes. Stopped reminding me of meetings. When my phone buzzed during a presentation with a question he used to answer without asking, I felt a flicker of irritation. I didn't notice the way my footing softened. He became very busy. Not late, never late, but unavailable. He stopped being the buffer between my moods and the world. Invitations went unanswered. Apologies were no longer delivered on my behalf. I told myself independence was attractive. I told myself he was sulking. Then the compliments shifted. First I enjoyed them. People praised my decisiveness, my confidence. "You're fearless," they said, and I nodded. I didn't realize fearlessness without scaffolding looks like recklessness. He started going to events I didn't attend. Not out of spite. He framed it as efficiency. "No need for both of us," he'd say. I liked the freedom. I liked sleeping alone and stretching across the bed like a queen. I didn't notice the nights he stayed late were the nights my inbox went quiet. The first cut was clean. A contract I assumed was a formality came back redlined. Then withdrawn. A board member asked me gently if I was still interested in collaboration given my communication style. I laughed it off. People envy confidence. That's all. He remained kind. That was the cruelty. He asked how my day went and listened. He didn't interrupt. He didn't defend me when I complained about colleagues. He just said, "That's interesting," and went to wash the dishes. I found out by accident. A glass of wine too many. A loose tongue at a networking mixer. "Your husband is impressive," someone said. "He's got such a calm authority." I smiled, a reflex. "We're discussing leadership roles next quarter," they added. "He's been very clear." Clear about what? At home, I searched his laptop with the entitlement of someone who thought the house belonged to her. There was nothing scandalous. Just organization. Emails that hummed with competence. Calendars layered with meetings that used to be mine. Notes. Strategies. He wasn't undermining me. He was replacing the gaps I left behind. He wasn't loud. He was precise. The second cut bled. A speaking invitation was rescinded. "We've gone in a different direction," they said. A rumor floated, not nasty, just efficient, that I was difficult. Not brilliant, difficult. Unpredictable, difficult. I recognized his phrasing in the feedback. Not his voice. His restraint. I confronted him. I accused him of betrayal, of plotting. He listened. He always listened. When I finished, he said, "I never asked anyone to choose between us. They asked me questions. I answered honestly." He paused. "You taught me honesty." That night I replayed the dinner. The laughter. The way I had used him as a punchline to polish my shine. I apologized then, finally, in the quiet where apologies matter. He accepted it. Acceptance is not forgiveness. It's a door without hinges. The third cut was the deepest because it looked like mercy. He suggested we separate finances, for simplicity. I agreed, relieved. I didn't notice the safety net moving. When a deal fell through and I reached for the familiar cushion, it wasn't there. He hadn't taken anything. He had simply stopped carrying me. People stopped inviting me. Not dramatically. Just less. My name slipped down agendas. His rose. At an awards ceremony, he was called to the stage for leadership that elevates others. He thanked mentors. He did not thank me. The room stood. I stayed seated, hands numb, watching the man I had made small become large without me. We spoke less. When we did, it was civil. He moved into the guest room, then into a place nearby. He helped me pack. He labeled boxes. He left the coffee maker. The final moment wasn't a courtroom or a confrontation. It was a message from a junior colleague I had dismissed once, copied to a group, asking if I could clarify a decision I didn't remember making. I stared at the screen alone and understood the elegance of his revenge. He hadn't punished me. He had simply removed the illusion that I was invincible. Months later, I saw him at a cafe. He looked lighter. He smiled like someone who sleeps well. We talked about weather and books. When we stood to leave, he held the door, the old habit. I thanked him, the new one. Ruthlessness isn't rage. It's patience. It's letting someone become exactly who they've been pretending to be, without the hands that once steadied them.